Hi viewers, a series of lectures on markets, on different topics of markets. Today, one more topic, price determination of a firm in perfect competition. I think this was explained very briefly in the previous lecture. Today, I am going to discuss how is the price determined in a firm in perfect competition again, and uh, whether at that price the firm is getting supernormal profits or normal profits or losses. Okay, these three conditions will be discussed. So the topic is price determination of a firm in the perfect competition. In the last classes, I have explained the peculiar features or characteristics of a perfect competition and the equilibrium condition of a firm. Before price determination of a firm, we have to explain what are the equilibrium conditions of a firm in a perfect competition. And that also I have explained that there are two important conditions for a firm to be in equilibrium in a perfect competition, and that the two conditions are: one, MC is equal to MR, marginal cost is equal to marginal revenue, and marginal cost curve should cut the marginal revenue curve from below. The second point I have explained in a detailed way in the previous lecture, that MC curve should cut the MR curve from below. Okay. So the way the diagram will be, I'll be drawing in few moments. So these are the two important conditions of a firm to be in equilibrium in perfect competition. That marginal cost should be equal to marginal revenue, and marginal cost curve should cut the marginal revenue curve from below, not from above. Okay, and we have also seen in the characteristics that the marginal revenue curve is horizontal to x-axis, and it's also coinciding with average revenue curve, and the cost curves MC or AC are U in shape. So we'll draw the diagram. Here price, revenue and cost, and here quantity demanded and quantity supplied. Okay, now coming to the conditions, that MC and MR should be equal. Okay, as we have seen, the marginal revenue curve is parallel to x-axis. It's also equal to average revenue, and average revenue can also be called as P. Okay. Now, as I have told you that cost curves are in U shape. So the MC curve is U shaped. This is the MC curve. So I have clearly, very detailedly explained that there cannot be two equilibrium points in a single firm. So MC is equal to MR here also, but the MC curve should cut the MR curve from below. Here it is cutting from above, here it is cutting from below. So this is the equilibrium point. Equilibrium point is E, and at the position the price is OP and quantity is OQ. Now why MC curve should cut from below is explained in a very detailed way. Now at this position, what is the price? So we have denoted the point of equilibrium. Now we have to see the price. This is the price. Why this is the price? OP is the price because MR is equal to AR, and AR in turn is equal to price. That also explained why AR is equal to P. So in this way, the price at the equilibrium position E, the price is OP and the quantity is OQ. So price is determined in a firm. In a single firm, we have denoted the equilibrium position. Later on, we have got the actual price and the actual quantity. Now at this position, whether that firm is getting supernormal profits or normal profits or losses, that we have to explain now. And to that, to explain whether the firm is in a position of profits or losses, we have to see the total revenue and the total cost. Okay, so now let me draw a big one. Quantity demanded and quantity supplied. Here y-axis is denoted as PRC, which means price, whatever revenue curves are coming and what are the cost curves are coming. So in order to name them AR, MR, average cost, margin cost, just put revenue cost. So PRC. Okay. So let me draw again that AR or price, AR or price, AR is equal to price. Now AR in a perfect competition is horizontal in nature, it's parallel to x-axis, AR, and it is also equal to MR. Okay, this is P. And I have clearly explained how is or why AR is parallel to x-axis and why is it equal to marginal revenue. That I have explained in a detailed way with a tabular representation and diagrammatic representation. So to get the equilibrium position, we need MC curve. So I have just drawn MC curve in such a way that it is cutting the MR curve from below. Okay, now this will be the equilibrium position E. Okay, the equilibrium quantity is OQ. So equilibrium position is E. The price is OP and the quantity is OQ. Okay. Now at this juncture, what is the position of a firm? Whether it is getting profits, losses or whatever. That we will be explaining with TR, total revenue, and total cost. Okay. Now for total revenue, let me write here. Total revenue is P into Q. I have explained the formulas in a detailed way. The total revenue of a firm is the number of units it is solding or selling at a given price. Say if it is selling 10 units, quantity is 10, at a price of 1, it is getting revenue, total revenue of 10 rupees. Okay, so TR is equal to P into Q. Now, what is TR here? OP, price is OP, the quantity is OQ. So it is OPEQ. OPEQ is the total revenue. Now what is total cost? TC. TC is equal to, as we have explained in marginal, sorry, in monopoly. If we know the average cost of a unit, the number of units produced, if we multiply, we will be getting the total cost. Now what is AC? Okay, the number of units is OQ, that is fine. Number of units is OQ. Now what is AC? So in order to get a single unit cost, we have to draw AC. Let me draw AC. AC. And I have told you that AC and MC curves are U-shaped, and while falling, MC is below AC, and while sloping upwards, MC is cutting AC and it's sloping upward. See, the slopes you see that MC is below AC while falling, and MC curve is cutting AC curve and it's sloping upward. So this way I have introduced a new diagram or new graph, curve. And as I have told you before that whenever you take a curve or something new in a diagram, just name it. You have to name. So I have taken AC curve and I have named it. Now the equilibrium point is E, and at this point see where the AC is coinciding. I'll put the point as say yes, and just take here this line and just extend this line. Okay, I'll put it as T. Now the cost of a single unit, average cost, is say SQ or OT. SQ or OT. So the cost of a single unit is OT or SQ, and how many units are produced? OQ. So the area is OT SQ. Okay, so we have got the 2 points, the total revenue and total cost. Now let me explain here. In order to get profits, total revenue should be more than total cost. The firm's cost of production should be less, and by selling the units that it has produced, it should have to incur more money. It should have to get more money by selling. Then some balance amount will be left to the firm, and that is called as profit. So total revenue should be more than total cost. Now what is total revenue here? Total revenue here is OP EQ. OP EQ. And the total cost is OT SQ. Okay? OT SQ. So total revenue is greater than total cost. Total revenue, see, OPEQ is total revenue which is greater than OTSQ. Now how much more than the cost is the remaining part left is the rectangle TPES. You take in one direction, write it as PEST Pest or TPES, but don't write TP and SE. Okay, any direction, but it should go in one way. TSEP is okay, SEPT is okay. So anyway, TPES, which is left, is the profits of a firm, and these profits we have explained through the total revenue it has acquired and the total cost it has done. So this is profits of a firm in a perfect competition. Let me explain losses in a firm in perfect competition. Okay, profits I have explained. Let me explain losses. Okay, the same procedure again. The losses also xy. Here you will be taking quantity demanded and quantity supplied, price, the revenue and cost. Okay, in a perfect competition, MR is horizontal to x-axis. It's equal to AR. AR is equal to MR. AR is equal to price. And I have taken MC curve. Okay. Now, before explaining the losses, the same procedure again. First, we have to explain or see where the firm is in equilibrium position. Then price determination. Then total revenue and total cost. Okay. So here MC is equal to MR and MC curve is cutting MR curve from below. So this is the equilibrium position. OQ. Okay. Equilibrium position is E, where the price is OP and the quantity demanded and supplied is OQ. Okay. Now at this juncture, what is TC? Total cost is, as you know, P into Q. Price is OP into cost, quantity is OQ, that is equal to OP EQ. So this is total revenue. I'm sorry. TR is equal to P into Q. So TR is OP EQ. Now how to get TC? Total cost. I have already told you that if we know the cost of a unit multiplied by the number of units, you will be getting total cost. Now let me draw AC. Okay, this is AC. While falling, sloping downwards, MC is below AC, and while sloping upwards, MC is cutting AC and both are sloping upwards. Okay, you can see that both are in U-shaped. Okay, now what is AC? Single to produce one single unit, the cost is, let me extend this line, equilibrium point, to the point where it is touching AC. Okay, here touch, say I'll put it as S and just okay. Say the point is T. The cost of a single unit is say SQ or OT. You can write anything. SQ, let me write SQ, and how many are produced? OQ. So the total cost is SQOT. Okay, the area SQOT is the total cost. Now, in order to get profits or losses, we know the formula. The formula is TR minus TC. And what is TR? TR is OP EQ minus SQ. Okay, SQOT. Okay, this is the big area is total cost, and OPEQ is the revenue by selling OQ products. So here the revenue for each unit is EQ, and to for one produce one unit, the revenue the firm is getting is Q, but the cost he has to bear is SQ, which means average cost is more than average revenue. Average cost is more than average revenue. The cost of a single unit is more than the cost of selling it. Average revenue is less, which means the firm is in losses. So how much loss it is getting? The remaining area. What is remaining? You just see SQOT minus OP EQ is the remaining area is TSEP. TSEP. Now this is the area which the firm is under losses. Okay. So we have seen some simple logic. If we draw, AC curve below AR curve, you will get profits. If we draw AC curve above AR curve, that is average cost is more than average revenue, the firm will be getting losses. I am telling you to the students that you need not confuse with the diagrams. That what is this all zigzag, we cannot remember the first step. Students will be drawing in a different way, the way they understand or but there is a procedure to follow, and the same procedure I'll be explaining for normal profits also. So we have seen profits and losses in a firm. Okay, now coming to normal profits. What is this normal profits? So there are three conditions. If total revenue is greater than total cost, total revenue is greater than total cost, the firm will be getting profits. If total revenue is less than total cost, the firm will be in losses. And if total revenue is equal to total cost, it's normal profits. That is, and neither the firm is getting profits nor losses. How much it is incurring, the same amount it is getting. So it's a position of normal profit. These two we have explained, and we explained the third one, normal profit. See, the same procedure again. Price, revenue, cost on y-axis, quantity demanded, quantity supplied on x-axis. See, same procedure. If you know the steps, the diagram, step by step you will be explaining it or drawing it without any confusion. So let me draw AR curve, which is equal to MR, and we need MR curve for equilibrium position. Price, let me draw MC curve. Okay, just see, whenever I'm drawing a curve or a point, just name it. We have named what is on x-axis, what we are showing on x-axis, what is represented on y-axis, and each and every curve is named. That is the basic things a student has to learn. Many of the students, they're very, very perfect. They just draw the diagram correct, but they don't label it, they don't name it. So, minor mistakes may lead to getting of less marks. So whenever you are drawing the diagram, see that x-axis has to be named, y-axis, and each and every diagram. So the equilibrium position, E, this is Q, speed. Okay, now as we have known that The two conditions for equilibrium are MC is equal to MR, and marginal cost curve should cut the marginal revenue curve from below, and we have denoted the point equilibrium as E. So at E, the price is OP and the quantity is OQ. Okay. Now, we have to explain whether the firm is getting normal profits. Okay. To get normal profits, or we have to again explain what is TR and TC. Total revenue is equal to P into Q, where P is OP and quantity is OQ. So the total revenue is OP EQ. Now, in order to explain the total cost, as I've explained, that if we are having the idea of average cost, cost of a unit, the number of units produced, we will be deriving the total cost. So, what is AC in this diagram? See, I'm drawing AC in such a way that it is coinciding with equilibrium point E. Okay, now just see, while falling downwards, AC is above MC or MC is below AC, and MC curve is cutting AC and both are sloping upwards. Okay, this way. Okay, now what is AC? AC cost of a unit is EQ or OP. EQ or OP into number of units produced is OQ. So the total cost is OP EQ. Okay, now coming to TR minus TC. TR is OP EQ and TC is OPQ. Both are same. Total revenue is OPQ, total cost is OPQ, the number of units produced are OQ, and at a price OP, the revenue that a firm is getting is OPEQ, and the cost that a firm has incurred to produce OQ products, say at a cost EQ, is also OPQ, which means there is a no loss, no gain position. TR is equal to TC, OPEQ is equal to OPEQ, which means TR is equal to TC, no loss and no gain position, which means the firm is in a state of so the firm will continue its production. The firm will continue its production, as I've told in the features of perfect competition, that there is free entry and free exit of firms. This is the important part. What is free entry and free exit? As I've told you that there are large number of sellers in a perfect competition, and they all produce homogeneous goods, and they are all price takers, not price makers. The industry gives them the price and each firm has to accept it. That's the reason there is a single price in the entire market. That is the reason AR curve is parallel to x-axis, horizontal in nature. And so in this way, what we were explaining, no loss and no. So I'm coming to the point. So as there is free entry and free exit of firms, say if a firm, as I've explained before, that few firms are getting losses, which means they can shut their production and just can go out of the industry, stop production. And say few firms are getting more profits as supernormal profits, new firms can come into the industry and produce the same homogeneous goods. So there is no restriction in entering of firms into the industry and exit of the firms out of the industry. There is not at all any restriction. And here no loss and no gain means, okay, the firm need not stop production even though it's not getting profits. It is just getting the equal amount that it is incurring. So there is no loss. So it will not stop production, it will be continuing until it gets profits. If the position worsens from normal profits to losses, then it has a freedom to exit from the industry. So the topics for examinations are like the characteristics or features of perfect competition, very important, and price determination of a firm in a perfect competition. This we have explained for a firm, single firm. Later on we will be explaining for industry also. Where industry, we are seeing all the firms as a combined unit. Some firms getting supernormal profits, some firms getting losses, some firms are getting normal profits. So what is the position of industry at that juncture? That also we will be explaining in a separate diagram, where in a single diagram we will be explaining supernormal profits, normal profits and losses. Very beautiful diagram. But to understand that, a complicated diagram, first of all, students have to understand these diagrams, which we have shown separately. I have shown profits in a separate diagram, losses in a separate diagram, and normal profits in a separate diagram. But for industry, all these three conditions, profits, normal profits and losses, will be explained in one single diagram, because industry is a combination of all the firms. So there will be having more large number of sellers, so more firms. So some firms normal profits, some firms profits, some firms will be losses. So the three positions will be explained in one single diagram. So with this I'll be concluding here. Very important topic for examination. Markets is such a beautiful topic that if you understand the characteristics, the features, diagrams are very easy to understand. I've taken three diagrams now: profits, losses and normal profits. The way I'm explaining step by step. For the three, I've started with the same equilibrium condition. I've explained first, then price determination, then drawing an average cost curve. By that, we have explained whether the firm is getting profits, normal profits or losses. So there is no confusion in the diagrams. Okay, just study the reference books. Thank you, Vanilla.